Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Screen Chronicles. And today, I'm Steve. With me, as always, is Colby, the Sneeze Snake Griffin, and and today we're talking season 2 of House of Dragon, the
Yes.
show on HBO or Max or HBO Max. I think it's just called Max.
Just Max now.
Yeah, it's that. But season 2 of that show, we're going to give a spoiler-free review like we always do a spoiler talk after that, always clear up a little more things, give you a little summary on the plot, even though not a lot happened. We'll tell you a little bit about it anyway. And yeah, you can hear our thoughts. But I think it did end here a while ago, but yeah, we're just getting to it. And,
Yeah, life's been busy. Life's been a little busy.
And you need our opinion anyway. So
Yeah.
good on you for waiting.
Yeah,
But
but it's
Colby,
good to talk about again.
what'd you think? Spoiler free review here
Yeah.
first. What'd you
Yeah,
think of the show?
I thought this season of House of the Dragon, I thought it got rolling pretty well from the beginning. I thought there was some solid drama. I do feel like it fizzled a bit. I think that by the time we got to the end, I felt like it was the whole season kind of felt like a tease a little bit. I didn't feel super satisfied after the last episode. What you have is obviously great acting. The acting in the show, I'm really impressed with the actors. A lot of dragon stuff.
Mhm.
A lot of dragon stuff, which is awesome. We'll get more into the details of that. It looked good, I thought. I thought it looked really good.
Oh, it's a beautiful show.
It's really beautiful. But as far as the substance of the show, there felt like there was a lot of fluff throughout it that I didn't really care about. Going to the last episode, I kind of felt like it did a lot of stuff in the last episode that I really didn't care about, where I wanted something else.
I feel like I got kind of shogunned,
I got a little shogunned, or So overall, it teased. I think I'm pretty excited for the next season because it kind of set that up. I just thought we were going to get that in episode 8 of season 2. Yeah, I would say that some really good drama in the first half of the season. What about you, Steve? What did you think?
That's what I thought too. I loved the first season. It was
First season was good.
And then going into this, as soon as the first season ended, I was like, oh damn, that's the end. I want to watch the next one now.
Right.
And I don't feel like it hooked me as much as the first season did going into the first episode of this. But it was still cool. You follow up pretty much right after the ending of the first season where Rhaenyra,
yep.
is having sort of a civil war with the High Towers, their family, because they're saying that was it Aegon, the king that died the first season?
No, Viserys.
Oh, Viserys.
Aegon is the one who is currently in power.
Yes,
yeah, Viserys.
That's right, because Viserys said that Aegon, in the mumblings that he had referencing the White Walkers and everything, was talking about Aegon, and
he's talking about the old Aegon.
And his wife was like, "Oh, he wants
our son Aegon
to be king, not Rhaenyra." And so that's what started that whole civil war thing. And then Osferth killed Rhaenyra's Daemon killed Rhaenyra's Aemon Osferth Aemon. He killed Rhaenyra's youngest son on dragon, just ate him up.
Just chomped him.
Chomped him. And it picks up pretty much right after that. So the two houses are
like
mad.
Literally I feel like days after, probably.
Yeah.
Like very, very soon after.
I was surprised because of all the time jumps in the first season. But yeah, same thing as you said. Right. I love the cinematography. Acting is great. I want to say the writing is good, but like I don't know, is that a contradiction? Because like it's so slow at a certain point in the season. What was good was written really well, and the boring stuff, I feel like it should have all been like one episode, and
there's a lot of fluff I think could have got cut out, and
and
like really didn't need a lot of that.
Yeah, I'd really say that's the only only bad thing, I could like complain about like a couple things here and there, be like, this is could have been better. But like really like the only thing though that I didn't like was just one, who is Rhaenyra's uncle husband? What's his name again?
Her uncle husband?
Yeah, her uncle husband.
Daemon.
Daemon. I love Daemon in the first season, and that's why like I'm forgetting his name because he didn't do anything this season. He just had some visions of some flashbacks from the first season, got some people together, and then there he was.
There felt like there were a lot of times where they're like, "Oh, we have this cool character, but we don't really have anything for them to do. So let's give them this sort of side quest that doesn't mean it." The same thing happened with Alicent at one point when she like went off into the, I don't want to get too much of spoilers, but there's like one point where like she just goes off into the woods.
Yeah.
And like it's like they really just felt like they needed to do something with her.
Episodes. She's just
like
camping.
And I know Daemon's I think arc has a bigger purpose, but it did feel like a little bit drawn out. It felt like they want to keep him in the show. They want him to be a lot of screen time. But we're going to just have him continue to have like these visions for episodes and episodes and just.
I really feel like that should have been like an episode or two, and then that's it. And
we're getting right into spoilers already.
Well, that's again, that doesn't really tell you anything other than that happens. But that's really the only downside. I wish he was more in the show, and I wish more happened.
I will say a big bright spot, and I was really happy to see this because we, as you all know, we're big Last Kingdom people. And we have 2 Last Kingdom alumni in this show that are main characters in this show.
Yeah.
Including Ewan Mitchell and Fia Saban. Ewan Mitchell, who had a long-standing career in the Last Kingdom as a lot of people's, he was probably some people's favorite character, Osferth. A lot of people have different favorite characters from that show. But I was really happy to see his role kind of explode this season. Like he had one of the more interesting roles, maybe the most interesting role of the season. I really enjoyed watching him on the screen.
Yeah.
And he killed it. And even Fia Saban, who played Helena, had more lines this season and more critical scenes than she did in the first season. So it's cool to see them, excelling in what is one of the biggest show productions that there is. So we'll talk more about Aemond because he was a critical part of season 2.
Well, let's just give her a score then here so we can spoiler talk, clear up a little bit. I think we really just said everything. Make sure you like and subscribe, by the way. I forgot to say that before on the last few. If you like what we're saying and leave a comment on what you thought about the season, what you would give the season, what score you'd give. But Colby, what would you give? What score?
I'm going to give this. I'm going to give this season a 7 out of 10. Oh, 7 out of 10. There was definitely a lot of good, but there was a lot of unnecessary, and the ending was not up to par for me. So I'm going to go 7.
Okay. I was going to go 6 or 7. I'm just going to go 7 then, just so we can keep it nice and clear there.
Good. To war then.
It's not like a bad show, and it's not like they ruined anything. Like it doesn't feel like they like trampled my House of Dragons season 1 enjoyment. It just feels like they just didn't do anything.
Just a little bit more boring for times, and
really everyone I liked still there. That was alive at the end of the first season, and
I was still looking forward to it week to week. And I'm going to be looking forward to it when season 3 comes out. I'll be watching opening night. They did give us a lot of dragon service, and that was very much appreciated.
I think they're amazing, but I have to say I enjoyed the dragons more in the first season because there was just more going on, So like when they showed up, it was like, oh shit, something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And this one is like, well, like doesn't seem like we're killing anyone, like that we really know from the Hightower side. And then from it's just
I can think of one death that destroyed me in my soul.
Wait, who am I thinking? What's in here?
Rhaenys.
Oh, well, she was on the target, Rhaenyra's side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was upsetting. Yeah, it kind of sucked. It kind of sucked.
Yeah.
That battle was awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
That was definitely
let's
my favorite
dive
part
into
of
the
the
spoilers.
season.
Let's dive into
we're
the
spoiler
Yeah.
alert.
Spoiler alert. Where should we start?
Well, let's just start with the ending. Let's talk about how that's what we like to do. I like get it out of the way.
Okay.
Because I think that's a good, kind of summary of how the show kind of was. It's like a lot of things were executed well. The cinematography, I remember thinking in that episode, like when people were at sunsets and
phenomenal
dragons and all that stuff. I was like, wow, this is beautiful.
It's beautiful.
And I was just like, wow, this is like, I can't believe this is a TV show, how great it looks. And then everyone's like getting ready for war and stuff. And then all of a sudden the episode ends and it's just like,
episode 7 ended. They finally got all the dragons with riders now.
A bunch of bastards.
There were bastards, but they finally got dragons. They're like ready to go, and like they ended the episode as if like, all right, our dragons are ready, like we're ready to fuck shit up. And then that's what I was expecting going into episode 8. It was like a big clash or something huge,
Yeah.
And then we didn't get that really at all.
We didn't get they just
they literally started a new story with was it Stark, the guy who went to that camp?
Oh no, it's one of the Lannisters.
Lannisters. Yeah, I meant Lannisters. Where they started like a whole new like sort of mini story there. Focused so much of the episode on that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what are those guys that just got those dragons? What are they doing? Why are they not taking back King's Landing right now?
It's like it's you ever see the South Park episode with George R.R. Martin in it?
Yeah. It's coming. It's coming.
They're coming. The dragon's coming. So anyway, Sir Joffrey, he has a big floppy wiener. He just loves it around.
I know. It just like.
But instead of that, it was, you know what? Too, like the one thing I was thinking this episode is the woman who's like, I don't know if I can follow you. You're tall and thin. It's like she literally looks like she could have been related to him. She was like just as tall and as thin as him, and it was what are you talking about? And how great is it? Like at the end, I thought she wanted to do him. Instead, she's like, I want you to impregnate my wives. And he's like, how many wives do you have? I was like, this guy's making out, huh? Let's.
Yeah, I mean, it was like
overall, I don't know. That whole thing was like, I was kind of invested in that, but I was like, I don't feel like I'm watching House of the Dragon anymore. Like, what is the point of this? Like, what the hell?
This feels like a mid-season storyline, like that. I don't know. Didn't love that part. So I guess they basically left a cliffhanger for season 3. I mean, we're working backwards. The end of episode 7 was pretty sick, where really trying to find riders for these dragons that they have to stand a chance, because both sides have dragons now. You have Targaryen blood on both sides, and that's basically what's going to win. If you got a dragon, if you got more dragons than theirs, and they've got the Hightower side with Aemon's dragon Vhagar is like
he's huge.
He's huge, and he's so far like undefeated.
Yeah.
Just so they need more. They need more. They don't want to dare go up against him one-on-one with Vhagar. And so they bring everybody down to the dragon lair. Mm-hmm. And they think that like, oh, it's going to be easy. There's like, they're going to, if they have blood, they're going to connect with them. And no. Dragon is like, this is so much food.
Oh man, this was great.
This is a cool scene.
This was a really good episode, or a really good scene. Yeah. Just the dragons just burning everyone alive, and like, and you're just like, who's gonna make it? Like, who's
if anybody?
I had a feeling the people who did make it, the one big guy, and the other guy who's always talking shit at the bar.
Yeah.
I kind of thought though the guy who was talking shit at the bar would be like found and then burned as like, and then it shows like he's not.
I was a little surprised that he got chosen by the dragon.
But I thought they would make the finals though. I thought for sure the two guys, I thought they would make the finals, but the other guy would be out. And it was such a cool scene too, where like everyone's just running and hiding, and like the camera, you just feel like you're on the ground in the camera, and there's just these beasts just killing everyone. And then what is that character's name? So I can just say it here. The big guy, who is that? Hugh Hammer. All right. Yeah. So Hugh Hammer, awesome name. When he was like yelling at the dragon, essentially, he's like, oh, I was like, oh, God, that's amazing.
But if you remember, like, was it an episode before or two that she tried it with someone else who she thought would be a good fit?
Yeah, he was one
of the dragon
Kingsguard guys. Yeah.
Yeah. And the dragon just like, and like they made us think for a second the dragon was gonna be okay with him.
Mm-hmm.
No, dragon roasted that guy.
Mm-hmm.
You ever like roast a marshmallow and catches on fire?
Yeah.
That was that guy.
That was that guy. Yeah. So it was just so crazy though. It was just a madhouse in there, and I think they sealed him in too, and just let it happen.
I know, and the look on though, like Rhaenyra was so desperate that she did this.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all this turmoil. Should we do this? Like the other guy got killed when we tried the first time. Oh, let's bring more people down. And then like the look on her face, like they run away, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But like she is mortified. Like she doesn't want this. Like Rhaenyra like has deep down is like, I think she has like a good heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she is desperate. She like needs people. She needs to find these people if they're ever going to have a chance at taking what is rightfully hers. So crazy scene. And then, the way he stands up to that dragon, such an epic moment. An epic moment.
And the guy from the bar, that's Olaf.
Ulf.
When he then was going and he ended up like further back in like, I guess the nest area, I thought for sure that's when he was cooked.
I thought so.
Then he got it. And I was kind of like, that's kind of cool. Now like all the things that he's been saying is true, but then this episode you can see he's really letting it get to his head. He was definitely the guy at the bar was like, I'm a Targaryen, and like that was like his like claim to fame, local kind of name kind of guy, and now it's legit, and now he's it's all in his head. I can definitely see some problems with him down the line.
Totally. I don't know if that's the kind of guy who should have a dragon.
No.
They should really run background checks. They should really run some background checks before they keep giving these dragons out. It's a big problem.
That's a big problem. Just hand out. There should be some sort of like test, some sort of, vetting certification thing going on. I mean, I guess there is. I guess.
Listen, the NDA keeps defending it, so the National Dragon Association.
I just assumed that's what you were talking about.
They're trying to protect their dragons. You can't take our dragons.
You can't take our dragons. They took our dragons.
I liked the Hugh Hammer. He was good. He was like an actor. He could have been in Last Kingdom or something. I feel like he had that sort of tone in his acting. Very likable.
I have to say, I get why they set him and Ulf up their plot lines throughout the season, but that was also something throughout the season. I was like, this is kind of boring. Just watching this family.
Right.
Like I get that it's hard in King's Landing right now, and it felt like they showed too much, but it was kind of boring. Yeah,
I think it was a big thread through the whole season was the discontent of the people in King's Landing, and we're gonna back it way up here. You have Aemond who's taken over as the king. He is having a lot of turmoil with Otto Hightower, who was his hand, and then he fires him and takes on Sir Criston Cole, who is like losing his shit. Is becoming a very bad person. It feels like.
Cole is such a.
I liked him in the beginning, like
that's what
when they were after.
When he was setting up, I was like, oh, this is gonna be like, I bet you this shows Jon Snow, and then he just takes a nosedive,
just in the wrong direction.
Yeah,
but
he just hates himself for being with Rhaenyra, but it's at the same time he's not saying no. And then this season he's with the Hightower woman, and it's just
it's interesting though.
He gets so mad at like that other guy. Was it Eric, the twin that was it?
Yeah. He blamed him for the murder of the baby.
Yeah, and it was his fault though, because he's banging the queen.
Right, he was the one who should have been, but he blamed him, and he's let's back it up to that. Yeah. And just to finish my thought though on that, the scenes in the bars and the taverns and stuff, like they kind of were boring a lot. But I did like seeing that side, like from the common people and their discontent, and we saw it also like when Alicent and Helena were like going through and in the town, and people were like reaching up in desperation toward them and freaking out. And then there's like rumors of like the feast that they're having in the castle, and yet the people are starving. So it was cool to get that thread, because it comes later when Rhaenyra sends food in to the people to try to like win their favor. So like she's exploiting that. She knows that like the King's Landing's in disarray. But let's back it all the way out back to the beginning of the season here.
Yeah.
Where like I said, it's days after the Rhaenyra's son gets chomped. Just by Vhagar and
Vhagar is so OP. He's just so overpowered. It's ridiculous.
And Aegon. I feel like I just said the wrong name. No, Aemond.
Yeah, Aemond.
Aemond.
This is like last.
I think I said Aemond.
With
anyway,
the A's and stuff again.
I know it gets confusing. But Aemond, and like there was a weird thing with Aemond when he did kill him in season 1, because it didn't look like that's what he meant to do. Like Aemond himself, Vhagar, that's what he meant to do. But he was like, no, like I didn't mean to do that. Shoot.
Yeah, you could tell he was like, oh shit! Like I just wanted to scare him. I think he probably did want to take his eye.
Yeah,
but
he wanted to hurt him. He didn't want to kill him.
Yeah, which
I mean,
I think
these guys grew up together. You think about it,
Yeah, and I think I'm sure he knew too. Like this is gonna make the war.
This is gonna start
bad.
A war. So anyway, Rhaenyra in a moment of anger says like, "I want Aemond," in episode 1, and then Daemon goes and gives the order basically, for these rat catchers, sneaking as a rat catcher, which is a very common job back in King's Landing, to sneak through the castle at night looking for critters and catch them. But sneak in and take a son, right?
Yeah, we'll kill him. And
I don't think Rhaenyra really wanted to do that, right? She didn't she wanted Aemond, but she didn't want to kill one of the kids, though.
No, and neither did Daemon too, which is like, I was like kind of confused. I was like, wait a minute, like why are they killing this kid? And like sawing his head off. It was, I was
making her choose which one. It was, that was tragic.
Oh my God, that was a tough scene.
By the way,
like, wait a minute, did I not understand what Daemon said? I'm like, I'm pretty sure he was talking about, because like, I think if that plan would have went to what Daemon was saying and went off as he had instructed, I don't think she would have had an issue with it. Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
I don't think she would have had an issue with the result of that. And it might have even helped de-escalate things. She's like, all right,
yeah,
he's killed. I'm done.
Right.
Maybe the other side would get mad then too, but
you mean if Aemon got killed?
Yeah. If Aemon,
it'd be, I feel like it would be like, oh, you got us back, but like, we understand why you did that.
Mm-hmm.
They still might have retaliated, but like, it would have been like, well, he kind of deserved that. An eye for an eye. So yeah, it probably would have de-escalated, but since they killed a baby, that's not good. That's not good.
Yeah.
And do you remember? Do you remember earlier in that episode? Because Helena's had this like thing of sort of being a prophesier. How do you say that?
Yeah.
Anyway, a prophet.
Fortune teller.
Oops.
We don't have our doctorates, people. We just
no. And she said in the beginning of the episode, someone's like, "Are you nervous about the dragons or something?" And she's like, "I'm more nervous about the rats." Mm-hmm. Which at the time, she just looked like a crazy lady.
Yep.
But obviously, she was like foreshadowing that these rat catchers were going to come in and kill one of her kids. That was crazy. See, this is the stuff like, oh wow, this season's off to a bang. Like, wow, what an ending to this episode. And Rhaenyra is furious when she hears the news.
Yeah, they're all talking at the table, and it's so funny because like all the advisors are like, oh yeah, they're the people there saying you did this. She's like, I could never do this. I didn't do this. Like, we're not responsible for this. And then like Daemon's like,
she looks at Daemon. Daemon's like, just, and she knows. And so then they get in a fight. And
then he leaves and gets sidelined the whole fucking season.
And he leaves like with ambitions, I feel like, of like him wanting to be king.
Yeah.
He gets back because like remember in the first season there was all this like he felt like he would be a better king than his brother. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was his brother. They had kind of a weird relationship. And then it kind of started to seem like he was taking his role. Like
that's what I thought too. I thought when Viserys was dying, that awesome scene too. Like I was just remembering the first season, like when he's walking in and he has leprosy. I think he's falling apart. He stumbles in there to help lay down the law that day, and his brother Daemon is like in full support of him. It seems like he's not messing stuff up anymore. Yeah. And then he gets behind Rhaenyra. And then I'm just like, oh, okay. So it was kind of weird that like this is coming up again. You know what I mean? And really like this half of the season, that was his arc, was like getting over that again, you know, which
I'm thinking like you need him to win, right? Like he's such a key force for you. And now you're like, and now there's a feud between them. So anyway, but he does go off. He is supposed to go and recruit the river people. Like he is ordered by her to go to Harrenhal and, recruit the people there to be for Rhaenyra. But he kind of goes with other intentions. Like I'm mad and I'm gonna get it for me, and I should be the one in charge. And then he gets to this place. Apparently, Harrenhal like is just always in a state of disarray. Mm-hmm. It's been like battle worn and like
it's funny. Like he like goes to conquer it, and like it's just like an old guy's there. Yeah. So he's like all right. It. Yeah. He's like, okay, sir.
I like that old guy too. He was good. But at this place, this is where Daemon, for episodes on end, just has visions. Endless visions of
season one. Like he talks to Viserys again. And I just feel like
he sees the best part about this though is bringing back the old actors to like see them again, which is cool. Like even the young Rhaenyra, who was awesome, and Millie Alcock. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, at the same time, it was like running in circles of him just going nuts.
And it also to me just felt like I feel like we already kind of resolved this stuff in the first season. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess we didn't. Maybe, but yeah, it just seemed like they didn't know, like what you said. It seemed like they just didn't know what to do with him, but he's too important to like kill off or anything. So
it ultimately led to toward the end of the season where he get the river people. Not easily though, because they're feuding with each other. They're also in a state of disarray. And the Lord, who was an old man, dies, and his, like, I don't know how old, 14-year-old or younger heir takes over, and this is who Daemon has to convince to join. And the kid's actually like really stubborn and like gives it back to Daemon. There are a couple cool scenes at the end where,
and he kills one of his own allies to help cement this new partnership.
That was tough. That was tough because that guy didn't deserve it.
No,
that guy was so loyal, and he's like,
and that's like it's like I really love Daemon because like he is kind of like noble in some ways, but then like he's not, at all.
He knows right from wrong. You can tell he knows right from wrong, and he does bad things sometimes.
Yeah,
but you can see that he knows like that this is not the way. This is not the right way.
He makes things happen. You know what I mean?
He does make things happen.
Makes things happen is what I like.
He does.
I went back to at some point and just watched because I was bored with what his stuff was going on, and I was like, I miss like that battle that he had with like the who was it, the ocean people or whatever, that guy, when he goes in and just like arrows are shooting at him, and he brings out the guy's like severed torso, oh my God. I watched that scene. That's so amazing. So amazing.
Yeah, I think I wanted a little bit more badass stuff from him this season, but just so much of it was him in his visions and not hallucinations. I guess he was really seeing. I don't know what was going on.
He was really having some sort of vision, because then the woman at the end takes him to that tree, and we know from the first, not the first season, but the show Game of Thrones, like the trees have some sort of like connection to like history through magic and stuff like that, and that's how the three-eyed raven who trained Bran was like seeing what was everything that was going on in the present, and then like had a connection to the past was through like a tree. But you know what the thing is too, that I like with the visions and stuff, I really wish they wouldn't like put such an emphasis on like the stuff that's going to happen in Game of Thrones, because then like it just doesn't feel like anything. Like they're like the White Walkers are, the winter's coming and we need to get together, and it's like they beat him in an episode.
I know.
they beat as soon as they had any sort of army and came into contact with White Walkers, they beat him in one episode. Army clash. It was scary and dark, and it was over for one night.
Yeah,
it was done. That was
it. Nobody wanted that. Nobody
wanted
wanted that to be it with them.
So I'm just like, why are we? I get that that's like a big deal from the books and like set up from the original show. A lot of things were set up based on that, but like ultimately, it doesn't mean it. Like it's nothing in the show. Yeah. It's
and it could have been downsized. It could have been downsized for sure. Yeah.
So I'm just, I don't know. So when they're like referencing like, winter's coming, all that stuff, I'm just like, doesn't mean anything. I know. But so I mean, that's me though. But because I really like the first show for just what it is, and the first season of this show, I mean, for what it is, and it's like I like that it's in the universe, but it didn't feel like it relied too much on Game of Thrones. So I hope we don't go that way. Like the same way with like Mandalorian, and like it seems like they're trying to like set up how Palpatine was cloned. Like just leave that
new
shit
stories,
alone.
New stories.
Leave that shit alone.
Exactly. I agree.
It's shitty. Just let's ignore that and just move on.
Yeah. Exactly.
Somehow the White Walkers have returned.
Well, another part of this season that I thought was one of the more interesting parts was when Alicent and Rhaenyra actually get to meet again. So like, they're far away from each other, and don't forget they grew up in season 1. They were like this when they were kids. Like that's who they confided in each other, and then they grew apart when she married her dad.
Yeah, she's so
and but they're both on both sides, right? On the opposite sides, and they both see things are like escalating out of hand, like just hurtling toward war. And like they both don't want that. They both know like that's not the way. So like Alicent is sitting at the table in King's Landing listening to her son Aegon like starting to kind of go crazy, right? And now being counseled by Kristen Cole, and who's the other guy who's creepy? What's his name? The long-haired guy.
Oh, the spy master guy.
Larys Strong, right? And she's not liking where this is heading to, and so we know Rhaenyra is trying to find another solution, and Rhaenyra actually takes a super huge risk and dresses as a nun and goes to where Alicent prays and sits next to her as a nun and just tries to have a conversation with her. And the interesting part of this scene, I thought, was like you can see the oh shit moment on Alicent's face when Rhaenyra tells her about the story of Aegon the Conqueror, and about how that was the one. And you can see like Alicent sort of realizes that moment, like, oh, the story that Viserys told me when he was dying was actually not about her son. Not that she admitted it right away. Did she?
No,
like,
no, she didn't.
No, she didn't. But like you can see on her face, like, oh.
Yeah, she in that moment she was still like telling Rhaenyra, like, no, you're wrong. Like,
right,
you're wrong. And so she was kind of doubting herself in that moment. But it's,
it's like, but it's like you got to stick to your guns now. Like it's gone this far. You know what I mean? And they don't resolve anything in that moment. It's frustrating. Rhaenyra really I think she thought that they could resolve it. But again, Alicent is really hot-headed because she thinks Rhaenyra just killed her her grandchild.
Yeah.
Right. So
in a brutal.
The tensions are high. Tensions were high. It was brutal. And but I thought that was a really interesting scene though.
Yeah. But it plants a seed and then the battle happens where Kristen Cole goes down against the Targaryen forces, and they're really kicking, or they're getting their butts kicked because dragon show up. But then
Rhaenys is there with her dragon, but then and they kept telling Aegon not to go, by the way. They're like, there's no need for you to go. Like, just send Vhagar. That'll be plenty. Well, but he goes anyway.
Did he know Vhagar was there? But I know, like,
no, I don't know if he knew, but they were advising him not to go. Like, we just don't need you to go. It's stupid. You're the king. You could get hurt.
Because then the men, also one of the Hightower men who are with Kristen Cole, the brother of the queen right now, and the son of the former hand, they were going, it's like, well, like, what's the plan here? Like, they've got a dragon. Like, we're gonna get murdered. And he's like, just wait. And then all of a sudden, Osferth comes out on his dragon, and
Aemond
comes out on his dragon, and they had a pretty good battle. And the two dragons, because they're both
Rhaenys's dragon, yeah.
But again, just Aemond's is just so like massive, and it looks like a Komodo dragon. Like, it's just like got this thick, like,
just a killing
neck.
Machine.
Yeah. That's all it is. It's just a murderous giant thing.
And she fights valiantly. She fights well on the dragon, but there is that moment where you see in her eyes that, like, she knows this is it.
Oh yeah.
Like, she knows.
And before that too, the king shows up. And that's right. And then the men were like, "Oh, this was supposed to be what you were talking about." And he was like, "I don't know. I haven't." And he was doing all right too. You could tell
Yeah.
he wasn't really. That's not his thing. But yeah, when then Aemon tries to get at Rhaenys, but also Aegon is in the way. He doesn't even like I think he tries
Oh yeah, he tries
to
yeah.
Also then kill him. He calls Dracarys and fire, and he just gets lit on fire. He falls down. I thought for sure he was dead.
Yeah.
And that dragon's all murdered too.
And so what's the deal with the people? Some people don't get burnt and some people do.
That's what, you know what? I don't understand.
Because I guess they're half blood, I guess, maybe.
I don't understand that. Someone I think commented on our season 1 talk before and was saying that that's not a thing from the books about being fireproof.
Well, it was a thing from
Daenerys'
the show.
Yeah. And that like it's just like a thing that they say, but it's not like actually true. So I'm not sure, but I guess now they're doing book lore with it, because I thought the same thing. I was like, well, I thought you were like fireproof if you were,
I know,
like a full Targaryen. I thought that's kind of like the intention.
Was definitely not
inbreeding.
But don't forget, he's not full Targaryen. So that was like what I was just thinking in my head.
Oh yeah,
right. He's half and half.
Yeah, I hope they clear that up in the show. I hope they make that clear for us non-book readers.
Anyway, he's heavily
I'm not going to read the books because they're not finished. They're not finished. Finished.
Aegon is heavily maimed. Actually not even sure if he's alive at the end of the episode. Turns out he does live, barely, and he gets months of nursing and physical therapy to.
How bad was the PT in this too?
Yeah, but this is the moment
going on when he's walking him, and like I think he had one hand on him, and it was like on his shoulder when he was walking him, and I'm like, you've got to have hands at the waist, 2 hands if they're that unsteady.
I know. Where's the gate belt? Where's the gate belt?
What the hell's going on here?
But let's not forget that the tensions were growing between Aemon and Aegon too, leading up to this. And Aemon, who has been very quiet in season 1, obviously had that huge chomp at the end, and then seemed a little bit out of it in the beginning of season 2. Is starting to come into his own, where he's like, I could be a better king, especially in time of war, than him. So I'm just gonna like accidentally. Oh, they won't even know that it was me who did it.
Yeah.
And then I'll take over. And that's basically what happens while Aegon is recovering. Aemon takes over. And there was also some context with this too, with the tensions where like Aegon found Aemon in the brothel with his girlfriend / prostitute.
And we saw Osfer's dick.
We saw it. That was not expected.
Yeah. And, I mean, he's still got nothing on you, man. Like he's not not even close to you.
All right.
You know what I mean?
But listen, you're just talking a ton of bullshit right now. And so anyway, the tensions were rising, and finally he didn't maybe try hard enough. But he does rule for a while in his brother's stead.
Yeah, but he definitely,
and that's not good because he's very angry now, and he's very he kind of wants to fight. So it's not good.
He was invincible before, but now once Rhaenyra gets all of her bastards together and just like is fully stacked with dragons, now it's just like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And but I do. It's funny because Osferth, if you're a fan of The Last Kingdom, Osferth is like such a good character in that, such a good guy.
Yeah.
And then
he's a monk.
Evil. He's a
evil monk
guy.
He's so innocent in The Last Kingdom. He's like very innocent, and when he's starting to join the gang and he has to like kill someone in battle for the first time, like it's very hard for him to even do that.
I
So
never
to
thought we'd see
him
his
play a
penis.
drastically different character is cool.
Yeah, it is.
And
cool.
he's like, yeah, he was really good. I found him very captivating. The scenes he was in, I thought he's one of the more captivating performances
in House of Dragon.
in House of Dragon.
Oh yeah,
House of the Dragon. Yeah,
that's what everyone now is. I don't want to say everyone, but like there's tons when the show was out, a lot of people on social media were talking about him like, oh, he's cool. Look at this, like just a lot of memes and pictures, and I'm just like, you weren't even there. You weren't even there when Destiny was all. You guys just get to see his dick after like a few episodes of him being around, and we were there for 5 seasons. No dick. Like,
oh my
geez.
God. Jesus Christ. I'm not going to comment on that. I'm going to stay out of that one, Steve. You seem very fixated.
I'm just saying, like everyone else got to see it, and like you didn't even watch 5 seasons of Last Kingdom. It's not fair.
Well, anyway. Oh my God.
You think that was really it too?
Was it? No, I don't know. I feel like they use prosthetics. I think the same thing when they show breasts. Like I feel like they use fake ones so that you don't get to see what they're. But then at the same time, actors tend to be a lot of them tend to be extremely open about that. I mean, I don't know.
They're more open-minded about things.
Some of them are.
Some general people, I'd say.
So I do think there are some instances where they use like prosthetics so they can still like maintain their own, I guess, dignity or their own
like privacy. So you can't be like posting pictures like, oh, this is Osfer's dick, but it's really not Osfer's dick.
We don't know.
It's Daemon's dick.
If we have him on, we'll ask him.
We'll definitely ask him. Make sure everyone listening to this, message him. Get him.
No, I'm staying out of this. Never mind. What am I doing?
Get him on so we can ask him that question.
I'm staying out of this one.
I think that's really the only thing people want to know.
I'm out.
Anyway.
No. Oh, going back to that battle though. We see the end of Rhaenys, and that was tough because she was a badass. Mm-hmm. She was a badass. She could have totally like ended the whole show by just killing them all when she burst out of the ground.
I know, right?
In season 1.
It was cool, but it was also kind of stupid. Didn't. That was the one stupid thing, I think, from that first season.
I know. She could have totally. But losing her hurts, she was a very formidable ally. And that was tough. Meanwhile, Jacaerys is Rhaenyra's son, and he's been going around trying to recruit armies to join Rhaenyra, and that was kind of his role this season. There was a lot of I found like there was a lot of scenes with the Valerians,
mm-hmm.
and one of them becomes a dragon rider, I think.
Yeah, one of his bastards,
right?
Because he has 2, and one of them just wants to keep working on the ships and like kind of resents him for not being in his life before.
Yeah.
And the other one gets a dragon, and he's like, well, he's offering to give us stuff. Like, why don't we take his stuff? And he seems like a cool guy. He seems like a noble guy.
Yeah.
But both of them do.
Yeah.
But the guy who becomes a dragon rider seems like it. So I'm curious where they'll go with him. Yeah. And what was it? Daemon's one daughter. She's just like going after this wild dragon like the whole season. She's just like,
yeah, where is she again? She goes to this like castle where the people seem cool at first, but like actually they're not.
Was that the place with the floor that drops down from Game of Thrones? I think that's that place. I think that's where that is.
Yeah.
But it looks like the mountains that she's going through looks like where Daenerys ran into the Dothraki when she recruited them. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but I'm also like, where are the Dothraki then? Like, how is this girl safe just wandering through Dothraki lands? You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be in those lands alone,
Yeah. So, yeah, I think we've touched on a lot of the main plot points.
Yeah.
Of the season. I'm trying to think right now. What have we really missed?
Oh, let's talk about the twin fight stuff going on.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was, I don't know, it felt kind of funny to me because like it's such like it's like a comedy thing, or like it's like a really cliche like TV episode kind of thing where like the TV shows that like we grew up with, where it's like uh like there's an evil clone of someone for that episode, and like which one is it? Who do I shoot or whatever? And like who's the high tower father who's the hand of the king,
Otto.
Yeah, that's it, Otto Hightower. When he hears that that's Sir Criston Cole's plan with Eric is to go in to get Rhaenyra, is to just go in and pretend to be his twin who's working for her. Like he's like, oh my god, that's such a stupid plan. Like he's just he's just so stupid. But like the thing is though, it works. Like it works. He gets all the way there and he almost kills her. And then the two of them fight to the death, and we're not even sure, I guess, which one is killed. I thought
didn't they both die?
But yeah, so the one guy, the other one who survives, kills himself after he kills his brother.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. They didn't. Yeah.
But it was also like when they're fighting, then another guard comes in, and he's like, "Which one do I get?" And I'm just like this is kind of
cheap.
It's kind of cheesy. Like
cheap.
in this show that has like had so much like good original writing and is like sophisticated political intrigue and battles and stuff, and like we're doing the evil twin thing. Like it's like like I think Otto Hightower is like the writers being like, well, we had to fill up an episode, so like we know it's kind of dumb, but that's what we're gonna, like, they needed to show Criston Cole being a hypocrite and insecure with his stuff to like help his arc go down, and they're like, this will fill an episode. So
oh yeah,
I don't know. I thought that was, to me, I was like, is this really in this show? This seems kind of stupid.
Yeah. It definitely seemed weird.
Like, but like if it was in like Merlin, it would be a fun episode. It'd be a fun episode if like
that's what you expect from Merlin.
Like there's an evil Arthur, and Arthur's like, which one? And he's like, tell me my birthday. And he's like, Merlin, you're stupid. And I know what it is. And it'd be like, and it would be the one that say like, I know what it is, Merlin, and that's when he'd shoot with the staff.
Yeah.
And that would be that episode. That'd be a week's episode.
That would make sense in like that kind of fun, lighthearted show.
Yeah.
But not the House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon.
And I guess they put a Game of Thrones spin on it by like the guy who wins kills himself, and it's just like senseless. And
well, it had a feeling of a little bit of like The Last Kingdom when Eric and his brother fight, and like ends up killing his own brother, and then he just like,
well, that's way more poetic.
Oh, it's way better. Oh, yeah.
That's not, and there's no twin.
I shouldn't even
stuff.
Compare.
It's not like, oh, which one's Siegfried and which one's Eric? Like no one gets confused with like who they are or anything.
Oh yeah.
It's not like Uhtred's like, which one? Wait a minute.
That was crazy. That was crazy. And then the other thing that happened was Rhaenyra basically takes Daemon's like, I think she was also a prostitute, like girlfriend. Was she a prostitute?
Yeah.
But she's like, she knows a lot and she's pretty smart. And Rhaenyra like starts to really trust what she tells her. She even like comes up with a lot of the ideas of like who could be dragon riders and stuff, and then that actually turns into a romantic relationship with Rhaenyra, which is,
I hope that doesn't keep going on. Even though it's like weird incest stuff, I do like her and Daemon together. I don't know why, but same thing when Jon Snow was with Daenerys. I was like,
well, they didn't know.
And I'm like, this is like a genre of that I watch anyways.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
But you're my step aunt.
Oh my god. No, but I didn't see that. I didn't see that alliance coming though.
No, but
Those
to me,
two.
I don't know.
I think it just goes to show Rhaenyra's sort of desperation this season to find a solution. She was like thinking outside the box. It's not somebody she normally would have found counsel with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she does. And by the end of the season, they're like very close. Um, it's interesting. Um, yeah, Rhaenyra really seemed not comfortable in the beginning of the season with her role.
Yeah,
She
she
didn't
wasn't
seem
really.
assertive. Um,
Yeah, well, she slapped the shit out of that one guy who like was questioning her the whole meeting. That was
yeah,
great.
yeah.
Just slaps him, and but yeah, she's like gone a whole bunch though, and like no one knows where she is when she's infiltrating King's Landing and stuff. And um, I just hope that like everyone's more proactive in the next season is what I really want. I want people to
So
be
when we
doing things
when
like
we think about where we start at the episode 1 and where they end episode 8, like everyone's still like on their same side. Everyone's who's in King's Landing, started at King's Landing, is still at King's Landing. Rhaenys died, but everyone's still at Dragonstone. Now they have dragons with riders, so they've like upgraded that.
but
That's a
generally
change.
it's still like
But
war's coming. It's like
generally, it's like the same feeling at the end of season 1
mm,
of like, oh, there's going to be a war.
yeah,
And I thought the war was going to really happen this season, but no.
the war's coming. The
It's coming.
dragons are coming. War's coming.
Just felt like a tease. Felt like a
And
tease.
so Aemon, he's got a floppy wiener, and he goes the dragons are coming. The war is coming. War's coming.
Yeah.
Winter's coming.
Is there anything else really big that we didn't hit on? I know there's a lot of fluff that I don't even think is worth delving into.
Yeah, I don't think
You know, but I think we've hit a lot of the main plots of the season. And really, when you look at it from that point of view, it really not a lot happened between season or episode 1 and episode 8.
so. Yeah, I guess if we didn't make it clear, Daemon does after his like final vision, he sees the White Walkers and stuff, and he swears loyalty back again to Rhaenyra, and Aegon it leaves King's Landing with the spy master guy.
Yes.
It seems like he's taken a liking to him since he's a cripple. It seems like that's like he's like, all right, we've got to stick together here.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
With Larys.
He knows that Aemon will kill Aegon. Which was an interesting like plot line, I will say. So they're leaving. His plan is to come back after the two sides destroy each other and then like be the uniter kind of.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really it. Pretty much everyone's just like getting ready for war now to happen. And I think we're probably gonna have to wait till like midway through next season though before that even happens. So
yeah.
It's coming. The battles
It's coming. It's coming. We did get a battle. We got a nice battle this season.
Yeah. What's your favorite scene or part of the season here?
It's the scenes that the scene that sticks with me the most is that as just a single scene itself, the scene when they were running on the dragon floor and getting just burnt up. That was such a awesome, like that scene like made me get on the edge of my seat. But I really enjoyed if just like watching Aemon this season as a whole, like when he went to visit his brother when he was sick and basically like pressed into his wounds, like you got to like see just like how evil he is, you know what I mean? So I liked watching his character grow, throughout the season. I think both times that they went down to the dragons and it was so tense because you didn't know what the dragon was going to do. And both times the dragons just went ham. Like that was awesome. Though yeah, I'd say that's probably up there for me. What about you?
I'm gonna pick the battle.
The
I
battle
always
scene.
do. I always pick the battles, but it was good. It was well done.
Yeah.
I wish it was a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little bit longer. But it's cool, and it pushed the story forward. Um, one Rhaenys died, and then Aegon was severely injured, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
And fun fact too, they filmed that battle where the gladiator battle from the beginning of the movie was filmed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And like if you watch it too, you can tell like the woods do look kind of the same.
Oh, cool.
But I'd say that's my favorite moment. Do you have a bro moment? Do you have a bro moment from this? If I had to pick, I'm gonna pick the Spymaster guy looking out for Aegon during his injuries and stuff. That's what I would pick.
I think it's when the twin brother felt so bad for killing his brother that he killed himself. Like that's a bro thing to do. Like, I'm sorry, bro.
That's it. I mean,
sorry, bro.
It's terrible, but that's a good one. Yeah.
I think what else could be a bro moment from this season? I feel like Rhaenyra was trying to have a bro moment with Alicent when she went to see her. Like, maybe we can rekindle like our old friendship. Like we used to be best friends, and like, can we find that again? But it didn't. It didn't come to fruition. Yeah. No, I think I can't think of another one. But there were a lot of anti-bro moments between the brothers.
Oh yeah, tons of anti-bro moments. That's like Game of Thrones. Is like anti-bro moments. That's what it is.
There's probably some between dragons and their riders.
Oh yeah, sure.
You know, like when that dragon didn't eat Hugh Hammer. That was a bro thing to do.
I think Daemon and his dragon, they seem to be like pretty bros. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're bros. He like lets him go nap in fields until he's ready to.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, I would say so. Also, the guy that was like the Daemon took over, he was a bro.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah, for sure. He's like, sure, it's yours now, Lord.
It's yours. Here, come have dinner.
You conquered it.
Come have some dinner at our table. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
No, I think that's it for my thoughts on it. What about you?
That's all I got.
Yeah.
Well, that's season 2, yeah. House of the Dragon.
Look forward to season 3 because we know we got to have a battle, a war coming in that season. Got to be.
The battles are coming. The battles.
They're coming. They're coming.
They're coming.
Couple more years for them to film.
People are talking there might be a season 2 of Shogun too, which I don't. The show is based off of a book that's just its own book, so I don't know if they do any more. It's going to be its own thing.
I for the most part liked Shogun. I think it won some
Emmys.
What are the Emmys? I would watch another season. I definitely think it built just like this one did. It built up and then didn't show us what we wanted to see.
That's why I felt like I got Shogunned at the end.
But the acting and the sets and the Japanese culture was so cool. So I would watch another season.
And is Rings of Power? Is that all out?
Oh, it's out. It's coming out right now.
Yeah.
We got to get on that.
Yeah, we'll get on that. We'll be talking about that. I just started the first episode here this week.
Of Rings of Power?
Yeah.
How was it so far? Yeah.
I thought it was all right. It's
cool.
It really gets into some interesting stuff.
It ended in such an awesome spot.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people online mad about it, but they were mad about the first season. I never thought it was bad. There's parts where I was just kind of bored, and Lord of the Rings shouldn't be boring. You know, it shouldn't
exactly.
And I don't. There's a lot of other things that people are mad about that I don't care about. You know, but I don't know. Anyway, so that's what we'll be talking about probably next. Is Rings of Power, and then at some point, Outlander should be coming back.
Yeah, should be.
And then we'll go from there. You know.
Yeah. Oh, Joker. We gotta do Joker.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's
Joker's
our first
out
podcast.
October 4th.
That was our first podcast we ever did.
Yeah,
we'll have to get on Joker 2.
We'll get on Joker 2. Very cool. All right, but otherwise, for now,
it's like we always
say.
Every single time. Zippity boop and
zippity dop.
Zippity dop.
Goodbye. Bye.